Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of How Did This Get Booked? I, of course, am your host, Jake Manning, and I am joined, as always, with my co-host, Bike Gang member, former beer-drinking buddy. Now I'm sober, so now we're just buddies.
I just drink all the beer.
You just drink all the beer. Zane Riley, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you very much, Jake, for having me.
Okay, and as always, we are joined by a non-wrestling fan, and we are joined by comedian Blayr Nias. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Blayr Nias, also promoter of Almost Famous Comedy Show and various other funny and fantastic things here in Charlotte.
Yeah.
I have had you on Stranger in Southern Land before, and I think I did this with Mimi, and you're like, I want to be on.
Yes.
So I was like, I just so happen to have the perfect show for us to get into. But before we dive into that, I always ask people who are non-wrestling fans, what's your background as far as wrestling? What exposure do you have to wrestling? How is it like infiltrated into your life? Just tell me about it.
Well, I think probably it blew up when I was a kid. Like, I'm 33. I had to think about that. So when I was in grade school, all the boys were obsessed with wrestling. They would do wrestling moves on each other, and they would say all the names and Mankind and all this stuff. I knew the jargon, I knew the vernacular, but I was like, that sounds dumb. That's a really dumb boy thing. I'm not interested.
They just yell some guy's name before they attack somebody.
I mean,
that seems to be a common theme. As our last one, Ike and Barry just heard his cousin go Bam Bam Bigelow, and then he got hit.
Yeah. It was pretty much like we would go out to the playground, and the girls would be doing gymnastics or hula hoop and jump rope, and they would just be trying to kill each other. And so I thought that was what wrestling was across the board. And then I got to probably about high school, and they're like, no, there's two kinds of wrestling. There's fake wrestling, and then there's very homoerotic Greco-Roman wrestling, where two men in leotards smother each other for 30 minutes. But and then I finally realized through college, my friends were still, all my guy friends were all still really trying to get me into it. Like, you like guy things, get into this. And I'm like, I realized it's male soap operas. Yes. That's what it is. I get it now. I didn't realize it was a storyline behind it and characters, and I didn't realize how much people actually got hurt and how much athleticism is involved. So I tried to get involved. The guy was cute. He still couldn't do it. So I'm glad that you introduced me as a non-wrestling fan, because I have tried in various stages of my life to get into it. And even like guys that don't seem very macho or into football or dude things are like, wrestling! So it's like, it's got to have a lot of appeal, but I think it's very testosterone driven across the board for a majority.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Most girls I know would rather watch Real Housewives of Atlanta than this, and I hate Real Housewives, but I would rather. This was awful.
Yes, the show she's making reference to that is awful. Has actually been requested by a couple of people before. To me on Twitter, like, when are you going to get to the legendary classic of Rodman Down Under?
Oh my god! Apparently, he likes to travel.
Apparently,
yes. He's like, I'm going to Australia, then I'm going to go to North Korea. Just all kinds of relations. Hopefully, his North Korea trip turned out to be a little bit better than this wrestling.
He played
trip.
Basketball with them.
Yeah. Yes,
that's just crazy.
He was friends with Kim Jong for a while.
I mean, he's like 6'7", so just
just him standing with his hand in the air, just facing towards the ball.
He's not even trying. Stop it.
Anyways, a little bit of information about this show before we dive into it. It is iGeneration Superstars of Wrestling. Name of the pay-per-view was Rodman Down Under. It took place on July 30th, year of 2000. And
wow, that's very recent.
I was just thinking, it was that recent?
But here's the thing. The show took place on July 30th, but it didn't air until December 1st. So they recorded it as a pay-per-view in July in Australia, and it didn't get aired or exposed until December, which is funny. Like, in the year 2000, you could do that. You could hide something for about 6 months or so, and then have it appear.
We were still using Ethernet back then.
Yeah, and it's even funnier because there was 10,000 people in attendance, and it was at the Sydney
Really?
Sydney Superdome in Sydney, Australia.
I just have a vibe from looking at the fans that Australia is like an entire trailer park country. Yeah. Like, it's like
they only showed like 8 people through the entire pay-per-view. It was just 8 specific people.
There's anything wrong with a trailer park, but I go to see, I watch wrestling like MMA or something like that. And you'll see some people that are kind of like white trashy, and then you'll see some people that are like celebrities and very wealthy and and polished. These people all look like they were spit and chew.
Yeah, usually there's a progression at like a UFC show. Like you have the people in the front row, they're dressed very nice, and then slowly they get less and less well dressed.
Yeah.
But not this show, right in the front, we're sitting there with like NWO Wolfpack t-shirts on.
But they didn't seem as angry and violent. Like I don't know if you watched that scene in Borat.
At least not in the beginning. It does escalate through the evening. Let's make a note of that.
Whenever I think of wrestling fans, I think of that scene from Borat when it's just they're like all like homophobic and like xenophobic and they're just the worst people. That's America. And like just I don't know if they're like that's Australia, mate.
This is Australia, mate. You can't do that.
Are they as like obsessed with nationalism as we are? Because I think we're the only awful country that's like that.
Yeah,
like, America's awesome and fuck everywhere else, you know? Like,
well, Germany was like that for a short period of time. It didn't last very long.
They were angry. That was a kind of a reaction. We just started like, we're the best. Like, how do you know? Because we said so.
From the womb, 2 fingers up.
Yes. Coming right out.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyways, we all got the DVD version that we put out there. Most people might have saw this on the How Did This Get Booked website. I put a link up of it illegally. Wasn't supposed to do that, but I did anyways. I got the DVD, which was available in Walmart for only $1.
I was wondering how much. I was going to ask you. I'm like, what bin did you find this? Because it was in a bin. This wasn't on the shelf.
No.
It was on the shelf. No, at one point in time, this was in a Walmart for $1.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
you know what though? I don't even have a DVD for sale. So what can I say?
Dennis Rodman's still making DVD
He
money.
is. He's got that sweet royalty from that $1.
But anyways, the DVD starts off with a nice video package of Rodman attacking Kurt Hennig and a voiceover talking about Rodman and Hennig have a checkered past of hatred that runs deep.
Yeah, I was like, how? Do they know each other?
Well, see, the thing is, like, this is not Dennis Rodman's first foray into professional wrestling.
It isn't?
No, he wrestled in WCW for a short period of time, but him and Hennig never really crossed paths. They were actually on the same team, and they were both NWO.
Oh my god.
So, to say that their hatred runs deep, it's kind of manufacturing some stuff.
Oh my god, it's just, I really thought this is the first time. I'm actually less impressed because I thought this was his first time when I was watching. I was like, he's actually not doing a bad job. This looks like it could be kind of hard, you know?
Well, yeah, he's actually kind of very much a natural at it. And I remember watching live him and Hulk Hogan taking on Diamond Dallas Page and Karl Malone. While they were still playing basketball.
The mailman.
Yes.
He was there.
Yeah. That
special delivery.
That happened. That was a main event of a pay-per-view.
In denim and pleather.
That's so... Well, I do think that, all the flopping and falling down during basketball when they pretend they're injured and they're not definitely comes into play here.
Yeah, and Dennis Rodman knew how to kick somebody. Yeah. That's for sure.
The announcers were like, "Oh, look at the pain and agony on his face," and I was like, "Yeah, he's really acting like
we all took drama."
Yeah, exactly.
But
they were my favorite, I think. Actually, the announcers.
We'll get into it in a second, but I want to talk more about this video package. Like, it started off with kind of a sissy chair shot from Dennis Rodman hitting Hennig in the back. But that press conference, when Rodman jumped off the stage and just clobbered Kurt Hennig in the back of the neck, like...
I was excited, and then... You didn't get to see them till the end. I was like, I'm ready to watch this now. They got you so excited. They're like, because I'm not going to lie. When I looked at Dennis Rodman, I'm like, he's not going to do well at this. He's going to obviously be the guy that just takes a fall. But then he gets up and it's just,
Yeah, and then you saw him jump off a stage and about kill Mr. Perfect.
The loudest
noise.
noise.
His nickname?
Yes, Mr. Perfect was Kurt Hennig.
Awesome.
Yes.
I think I heard that before when I was growing up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was a legend.
Mr. Perfect.
And I love in the press conference, this guy dressed in FUBU, during the pull part, just still on the microphone.
Yeah.
What's his deal?
He's the hype man.
Yeah, he's the live announcer during the thing, too. He's like, whenever Dennis, throws him on the table, he's like, all right, guys. He's holding hands, audience, everybody give him some air. He's holding his hands out, I saw him as the only other black guy there.
The only other black guy in Australia, probably
also,
at the time.
want to point out, even in 2000, too late to wear FUBU.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
Pretty positive I was getting clearance FUBU at Marshall's around 96.
Okay, well,
so
I'm glad you're here to clear that up, because I would still believe that 2000 was an acceptable time to wear that.
No, pretty positive.
I'm going to have to go clean out my closet. I got to go get my FUBU gear out of there.
I'm more impressed that Dennis Rodman's shades stayed on for this entire altercation as well. I must point that out as well. I'm very impressed by that.
I kind of think the announcers kept like teasing us too with the earrings and the piercings. I kept thinking, oh, something's gonna happen. Nothing happened.
You're gonna rip this out of its face.
I was like, he's gonna have a fake earring and then make it bleed or something. Nothing.
Or real. Curt Hennig seems like the type that get nasty like that.
Especially in the match when it comes to it here later.
Yeah.
Especially when we talk about it in a little while.
That would have been a great way at the face off, like to be like, just look at him and just rip and ring out. Like, because what are you gonna do?
Your very first move is removal of
what are you gonna do?
metal.
Nothing.
Anyways, we get to the part with the announcers get introduced. Vince Manucci, I believe, and Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
Very Italian names.
Are you aware of who the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase is?
I don't know those guys. I don't.
Okay.
I know Vince McMahon. I recognize that name.
Well,
No, this is not the same Vince McMahon.
Oh, McMahon, that's it.
Yeah, Vince McMahon.
He had lots of money too, right?
Yes.
Something. Okay.
He had lots of real money.
Yeah. Oh, this is $1 million, like hypothetical.
Yeah. I'm sure he made it at some point. But
Over a long period of
Yes.
time, yes.
No,
but not
I didn't
necessarily.
recognize either one of their names, but they are awesome. Wait, did they base Celebrity Deathmatch off of them? Do you remember that animated show?
oh.
On
Yeah.
MTV.
So I think that was on before this, was it
Yes, that would have been like in the mid-90s.
Yeah, because I recognize those names, and they kind of look like the characters. I have to go Google that now. I feel
But
like they
the
based off-
talent in which they had was very equal to the
Yeah.
fake cartoon character.
Oh yeah, the claymation.
Very much. And the matches are probably about the same. Maybe a
Yeah.
little bit better than what we saw on this card.
Yeah.
They're celebrities, yeah. So.
Show starts off with Curt Hennig calling out Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
I do love the fact that Rodman is so hated, so obviously he's the bad guy. He is the heel in the situation.
Yeah.
I happen to like that because normally when you bring a celebrity into professional wrestling, they have to be the good guy. And
Really?
and then you have to make them look good.
Oh.
And then when they mess something up, there's really no place to go because then the fans are like, oh, you fucked up. I don't like you anymore.
You're not good at this. Stop.
Where if they're the bad guy and they fuck up, the crowd can get on them, and then the real wrestler can be defending wrestling.
Yeah.
Which Curt Hennig is perfect if there's ever a guy to defend wrestling.
I was so like, I remember this one note is so crazy. They go, he goes, Rodman's a bad boy, and he's really cocky, and he's like this. So it's laden with so much sexual innuendo.
yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. Like, because when I remember watching a documentary recently about Rodman and how he started, he was like a humble, nice guy. Like,
Yeah.
"I'm
Real
just gonna
lanky little, like, goofy guy in
Just want to
Detroit."
play basketball, guys. That's all. And then like all of a sudden, towards the end of his career, he's just like marrying himself and Carmen Electra and Madonna and colored his hair and piercings. He didn't have piercings. That's the Rodman I grew up with, was the Rodman we saw. But then
Yeah.
later I was like, oh my god, who's this dork? And so
Oh yeah, he was just a nerd, and he was just coming off the bench, just work hard, keep his
Yeah.
mouth shut type
the six
individual.
guys, just want to teamwork, guys. And then now now they're like Rodman, the bad boy, and I was like, what? They made it sound like they made him sound more interesting.
He goes to Chicago and everything gets fucked up. And
Oh, he was a little fucked up in San Antonio. I think that's where it all started.
But yeah, there's so much sexual innuendo while they're talking about him like he's the new bad boy at school. Like, you hear about Rodman? Ooh, yeah. And then they're chanting Rodman sucks or whatever. He's just back there getting hyped. Like, yes, this is what I want.
me.
Yeah,
This
so
is
that's
my
what I
dream.
wonder too, because it's in Australia. If like Australian wrestling fans are like, no, fuck you, you're not a wrestler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't like you. We like this guy who's an actual wrestler, a guy we never really saw that much during his career. We want to get behind the wrestler.
It's just weird because like they're kind of like mocking him for being cocky, but that's his thing.
Yeah. Where it seems like if this was done in the U.S., they'd be booing Curt Hennig and they'd
Yeah.
be cheering Dennis Rodman.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so
They'd
I
definitely be cheering because he's crazy. We love crazy people.
we may elect a crazy person as president. So
We love a good train wreck.
Yes.
It gets closer and closer.
As it gets closer and closer. Anyways, let's move right along on this show. We're already getting into the match number one, but they show us a press conference, which was far more crazier than we thought, because before Dennis Rodman attacked Curt Hennig, the Public Enemy did the slowest sneak attack of all time on the Road Warriors.
Yes.
Which watching it, I was like obviously this is like they're just sneaking up behind him like cartoon characters. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, Hawk is kind of old and he's much like me as I know about wrestlers. We're not very good at turning our heads. So like you could see Hawk kind of turn his entire body like, oh, someone's coming. Like
they kept saying, that was like the theme of the evening. It's like, well, they're old. They kept saying that. They were like, he's been around. He's dusted off the belt for this one. I was like, what's going to happen to them? I'm nervous.
Yeah, especially in match 1, the Public Enemy versus the Road Warriors. I mean, obviously these guys not necessarily in their prime in a sense.
That's what they kept saying. I was like, they look okay. But they came out all like oiled up and thick and just like marching in time. they were like, we do this for a living. Don't fuck with us. And that was awesome because I liked them better. I was like, but someone said, one of the guys said, it was my favorite quote, there are no awards for good looks in this match.
They body shamed so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like they fat shamed the fuck out of Johnny Grunge.
If Johnny Grunge wasn't in this match, this entire time they would have just not talked about shit. It would have been silence. Just
he said he goes, they're trying to pin him, but he keeps rolling around like he's round. Don't pin him together.
The mayor of Donut Town covered. They're like, that's a real dick move, man. Fuck you, Vince.
Yeah, lay off Johnny Grunge, okay? Like,
yeah, those are some of my favorite quotes. It was he said, "Pictures worth 1,000 words. One shot to the head is worth 1,000,000 aspirin." I'm like, who's writing this? Are they just coming up with their own stuff? They're like, it's worth 1,000,000 aspirin. I was like, okay.
I felt that Ted DiBiase was just using every one-liner he ever heard.
Yeah.
But with not really, like, it never made sense. Like, I'm just gonna say everyone I know.
It didn't.
At inopportune times. Here we go.
Wait, he goes, this guy's so old, he was there at the match of Kane versus Abel.
yeah.
He was the undercard of Kane and Abel.
And the other guy looks at him like, really, dude?
this is where we're at now?
He was like, no, it's funny, trust me.
And also, too, like, as the Road Warriors were coming out, Pyro was going off. Almost killed the Road Warriors before they ever got to the ring. I guess regulation in Australia is a little bit different than in the States.
So fire marshals there.
Australia's the South Carolina of the world. They're like, you can tell there's an all-nude strip club down the street from this place.
Yeah. That place probably doubled as the all-nude strip club.
But they loved it, though. They were like, yeah, this is how you come out, man. This is what you do. This is how they did it.
Yeah, and Road Warriors didn't flinch at all. Almost got set on fire.
Yeah.
Didn't flinch at all.
They're all covered in grease, I feel like. That was more of a fire hazard.
They could have just, like, went up, like, in no time.
Beautiful, luxurious mullets. That's what's so very scary. This is 2000. I'm just surprisingly too many mullets in the audience.
Which is an on-running theme for every episode of how this get booked is how many mullets are on this show.
Wow. Yeah.
There's got to be some sort of math equation with it.
Yeah.
Also, too, at some point during the match, Johnny Grunge simulated a blowjob on the outside of the ring. I think duly should be noted. Like, at a fan, like, as an insult. He was just, like, mockingly do the old thing. Like, yeah, he's just doing it as a fan. I don't know if he's taunting the fan or, like I don't know.
And that fan's like, oh, I can take one right now.
Yeah. Is he offering it or what? This, of course, is a tables match.
Oh my gosh! I did not know that was a thing. This is beautiful.
I don't believe that either of the announcers or anyone in the match knew it was a thing either.
Okay.
Because at no point did they ever seem to fully understand what was going on.
They were like explaining the rules, and he just starts and he goes, "Oh wait, they started fighting. Sorry." And he's like
they're tagging in and out. At one point, there's a real long, awkward pin attempt that gets counted.
Two of them. Like, there's definitely two of them that are like that.
And then they can't decide if does one go through the table, they're eliminated, but they still get to fight.
Oh yeah.
It was just a whole lot of weird.
Both had to go through the table.
Yeah.
He kept saying that.
Yeah.
But then it was like, I don't know. I really don't think they knew the rules.
I almost think like the commentary was done in post-production. So I think it was a situation like, okay, this is what happened. We had a match with the Road Warriors and Public Enemy. They just kind of like went through like tables at the end.
Yeah.
And then we just like rang
We're
the
just
bell.
going to say it was and that makes more sense.
So can you guys make up some sort of a thing where this makes sense now?
I also got really excited when I heard Public Enemy, knowing Dennis Rodman was there. I thought they really were going to have like
real
Flavor Flav. That was going to come out.
That
and I was
would be
like, because Flavor Flav would totally do this. Like,
I'm
it's
pretty
not
sure he
him.
did at some point.
It's not beneath him to do a celebrity wrestling thing with no skill.
Man.
He needs like a
Chuck
tiny
D
little
just-
crack body too. He'd be like, I got it, boy.
And he's just taking all the big weird moves. We'll draw the tables.
So the table thing is not something you guys had heard of before.
Well, no, like we know about it. It just didn't seem like the announcers knew much about it,
Or even the participants in the
Yeah,
match.
they
They just
were-
kind of did this, and like,
and they just didn't want us to fly Ted DiBiase to Australia, so they just brought the video back to.
yeah, and that's why I think too. And they're like, hey, they just rang the bell after both of them went through the table. No pin happened, so just kind of make sense of this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's really funny.
which would make a lot of sense because there is the obvious Australian announce team at the one table that we see constantly, though English is the language of both, so why would they need to have
An extra announcer.
that? So it must be, they would have had to have been post-production.
Yeah, that
they did
sounds-
that.
No, and also too, there is a German version of the commentary as well,
No.
but they don't like switch up commentaries. All you see is like Ted DiBiase and this Vince guy in the beginning, and just German
dubbed over?
dubbed
Oh,
over.
nice.
So like, there's even that out there online.
wow.
That's another way to watch a show as well. But anyways,
Wow, that's awesome.
finishes a double spear through the table.
Sort of.
There's even like a hard edit when this finish happens. Like, and they cut to the crowd real fast. So, like, I feel like they made an edit to make it look not so bad, but it still looked bad.
It was
like,
pretty bad. You said sort of.
Yeah. So I can only imagine how bad it actually was.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, Road Warriors win.
They're so tired. They look like they were kind of just hanging out.
They're in
like,
the 50s.
Oh, wow.
Well, probably more like 40s at this time, but still, they're late 40s. Mid to late 40s.
I'm more impressed again. I don't want to do this now.
The other two are dead, so.
Oh,
Actually,
wow.
no, three of them.
Three of them are, yeah.
Three of
One of the
them.
Road Warriors is dead now.
All members of Public Enemy are dead, and Hawk is dead.
So was it like an accident or like a drug?
Well, they didn't die here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know I feel like there's a lot of like drug and alcohol problems in the wrestling.
A couple of them were. One of them not so much. I believe Ted Petty died of a heart attack. I don't know if necessarily it was like anything.
from drugs. No, I was kidding.
It wasn't necessarily so much like Ted Petty was actually very straight and narrow.
Okay.
Like, of anybody like in this match, like he was probably the one who was in the best shape.
Yeah.
To be really quite honest, he was the guy that was doing all the flips and
Yeah.
Okay.
he's the one that went through the table twice.
Rocco
yeah.
Rock.
Yeah, Rocco Rock. Johnny Grunge, on the other hand,
Big
he
piece.
actually lasted for. He was actually hung around longer than any of the other two that died. You know, so
He
which is
was the worst
surprising. And of course, I imagine there's a lot of contributing factors to Hawk's death as well.
Oh
So,
wow.
not at the time, but of long abuse of his body.
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
a better example. But anyways, as we come now, we get to see the iGenerettes come out between each one of these matches. This is round one of these girls.
Is everyone else American in this match, and it's just they're in Australia?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because I was like, that looks very Hooters.
Except for Ozzy Joe when we come to him.
We get to him. But anyways, this is like kind of a rip-off of the Nitro Girls. Like WCW would bring out these dancers during segments. Not between each match, though.
Okay.
But like they definitely brought the Nitro Girls out a lot, so I guess this is kind of ripping off of that.
This is probably the most entertaining part for me.
Oh, exactly.
Because I'm a girl. But I was like, yay, dancing. And, but that's not really what it was so much as gyrating. And there was choreography. I saw that, you know. But yeah.
I like the girls' dance numbers were my favorite part of the show because they were the only ones that looked like they knew what they were fucking doing.
Sort of.
Everyone else just was like, whatever.
It always
These girls at
flailing
least had
around.
like a goal in mind, and
It
they were all
always-
going to get there together.
It always started with them just kind of like generally
Yeah.
moving, like they were getting excited. They're like, "All right, here we go." And I was like, "They don't have choreography." Then all of a sudden they break out into
Yeah, then
something.
they got
that was
the-
I was like, "Okay." I get it. It always started with just jiggling, jiggling in tight red pants.
Almost like Al Bundy dancing in the jiggly room, like type of gyrating, like that level of,
It was- yeah, it
of
was-
expertise.
That's what I was like. Do they get these girls local? Because they just, you know.
I don't know where they
I'm not
get
going to
it.
spend money to fly these broads in.
Yeah.
Although I do like after they're done dancing, Ted DiBiase says, "Well, like I said, everybody's got a price."
So they're just all
So
hookers?
so I don't know if that was like a knock on them, like saying, "Hey, well, you know, everybody can be bought to do
Wow.
whatever." And it's very interesting because, Ted is like a, born again Christian and very, very Christian nowadays.
Oh.
So I don't know. So it's like a little weird that he's made that comment.
Yeah,
So I don't know if that was very like a dig or he just like, I don't know what to say because of my religion right now.
The taller one.
With the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if he made that comment because he didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, hey, I've got a couple one-liners. I'm just going to throw them out there.
Yeah, he was the one who was just throwing the one-liners.
Yeah.
Because he does say, everybody's got a price when I got your number. Like, he used that like 4 times.
Yeah, no, he was just using that one. He clearly did not know. He was like the guy, the bartender in Boondock Saints that's messing up the sayings. He's like, make like a tree and get the fuck out of here. He was just saying shit. He's like throwing it out there like, there you go.
Yeah,
People in glass houses sink ships.
Yes, exactly. I kept looking at, I was like, as a comedian, I know I've been asked to do witty banter occasionally, and I know a lot of times for stuff like that they hire comedic writers, even for like award shows. So I'm sitting here listening to that. I'm focused on that a lot, and I'm like, this isn't good. This is not relating to what he's talking about at all.
And Ted DiBiase, always a very good talker in the past, a very good promo man, and Mike User, and
Mike User.
Just on the downswing here.
The weight jokes of the previous match were my favorite, though.
Oh, yeah, that's
you can't
really...
pin him because he's rolling away. Like, that was like...
And when it comes to girls' match, too, which we'll talk about shortly, that's also some gold there. How dare these broads?
Absolutely, but we're gonna get to match. We're gonna get to match 2 right now with Barbarian versus Brute Force, who is Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Wow.
But obviously you can't use that name, especially like on pay-per-view, because WWE would own that. Because they came up with, they have trademark on it, and a lot of the other names that he's used over the years are owned by WCW. But they just call him like Brutus, Brute Force. That's what your name is now. But he's wearing the same exact outfit he wore when he was Brutus the Barber Beefcake. No deviation there whatsoever.
Oh, wow.
I almost want to hope that they're like, man, you really use a lot of Brute aftershave, Brutus. Brute Force, because that aftershave is a force to reckon with.
Yes. That would be great. That would be the greatest way to name the story, the etymology. Origin story of your name, that'd be great.
Exactly. And also, too, I like as he's coming out, the commentator even cusses because, like, we've already bleeped all the cusses. The commentator cusses. And the born-again Christian Ted DiBiase goes, hey. Like, he got serious on commentary for a second on Brutus's entrance. It got real uncomfortable. It wasn't like Daddy hit
He kept
Mommy.
saying, I've got class. I've got
class. So you show some class.
And I was like, dude, you just said some real dumb shit.
Yeah. But Barbarian comes out, of course.
So is he white? Because then some of the stuff is okay. But he was kind of tan, and they're like, he's from a tribe or something.
Oh, no, he actually is Tongan.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so now I am uncomfortable.
Okay, so I was going to ask you what your feelings on it, because he's got dreads. Is that cultural appropriation here? Like,
I wrote, racist. Is this racist? I'm not sure they can make fun of this. Barbarian, question mark. Because I wasn't quite sure if he was non-white. Because if he was white, it's like, whoa. It's blackface. But if he really was, then it's like self-hating kind of. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
I think when Vince does the whole, that's probably how they grow them in Tonga.
Yes.
I was like, holy shit, what?
Yeah, no, and he goes, their people are natural warriors. And I was just a lot of stuff. I was just kind of like, this feels like an SNL sketch where someone's going to have an HR conversation. But yeah, I mean, the whole, you're a barbarian or you're a savage. Savages, that's the other thing. I was for 1 second away from saying savages. Or going like, ooh. I was waiting for it. But he was like awesome. He was still very entertaining to watch. I like the way he just kind of came in there and just throwing people around.
Things up.
Yeah. From Jump Street, I was like, all right, I can watch this.
Still a wrestler today.
Really?
Still does it.
both these men, I've actually wrestled both these men before.
Oh,
likewise.
Yes.
So that's so cool. I mean, how much of the blood part is real? Like when they're bleeding, is that real blood?
Blood.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I always thought it was like, because Mimi was telling me that. She's like, no, they do it to themselves. I was like, nah.
Yeah.
They just told you that. So, Yeah, that's
Cutting up.
crazy, man. Oh, I don't think I care that much about anything. to hurt myself. I mean,
You're not so much offended. You're just like, I don't have the gumption. To
No,
never mind.
you guys are committed. I want to be like, it looks like I'm hurting. There's some pain. I've done a lot of pranks on people where it looks like I hurt myself. Like, yeah, cocktail sauce is great because it's thick.
Oh.
It's grainy. I would be if I had to do any wrestling, I'd have a ketchup packets in my hand.
At all times.
Never do any of that. That's crazy, though.
Oh, but let's see more about this match. Other than the million nut shots that are in this match.
Oh my god! So again, yeah, I was like, that's literally the opposite of boxing,
Yeah.
I was like, low blow. That doesn't count. They're like, nope, it's good. I was like, what? That's
Everything's
legit.
legal.
Yeah, this was a hardcore match, and it just even saying like
Chairs.
Yeah, when they hit him in the nuts at one time, Mrs. Brute Force is going to be upset about this one.
Whole lot of dick talk, like no more junior brutes.
Yeah,
This is brute force. I'm like, no.
yeah. Just like the last one was about fat shaming. This
Yeah.
one's about like a man losing his masculinity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all
Like,
about dick stuff here.
Yeah.
dick stuff here.
That's funny.
And of course, Zane will know like when Brute Force goes for the half Stone Cold Stunner, half Diamond Cutter
Kind of thing.
It just kind of like didn't play out at all. Almost broke Barbarian's
Oh,
neck.
I'm sorry.
on
This
it.
is so last segment, but I forgot. They have numbers on their jersey, the thugs or whatever, and one of them is 69.
69.
Yes.
And I was like, there's a lot of latent homosexuality here. And he's like, the other one's like 0.
Yep. Two of them.
I was like, why are you picking these numbers like that? Why do you have jerseys?
Because 69 was taken. He's
I'll be 99. I'll be 96. Oh, there we go, jinx. All right. Sorry, I know that we were done talking about that. But
No,
I
you're
forgot
fine.
about it.
You always chime in like
Yeah,
that.
I just like I wrote lots of sexual innuendo over and over again. I was like, all right, man, all right.
Well, anything else about this match? It's pretty just straightforward, hardcore match.
I just really expected him to come out with like a tomahawk. Like that's how much they kept talking about like these people and the warriors. I was like,
Well, that happens eventually. One thing that was small that I would like to make note of because of this show, at one point, Ted DiBiase talks about being in the ring with Brute Force once upon a time, and I thought, yeah, we know Ted, because we talked about your match on this show.
This is right, at WrestleMania 9.
Yep.
Yes, I remember that. And actually, a funny story, I could talk about being in the ring with Brutus. I wrestled him on a Friday and Saturday in a big 8-man tag, and I was taking his sleeper hold as a finish.
Yeah.
And the first night, easy as pie, took care of me, it was fine.
yeah.
And second night, not so much. And the reason why was the first night there was a full bar available at the venue, and he was just,
Drunk.
Say it.
Yeah.
Smelled like it.
Yeah.
And it's very easy on me. Next night was at a Masonic temple, and they had limits on the amount of beer you could get.
Yeah.
So he couldn't get drunk enough to take care of me. So the second night, he about killed me.
Oh my God.
So he's one of those rare cases, I'd rather wrestle him drunk because I know he's going to be light on me.
Yeah, yeah.
But when he wasn't, oh my God, he about killed me. I
can
legit almost
imagine
went to sleep.
doing athletic things drunk.
Well, what he does is debatably athletic,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I know there's people get drunk and do feats of strength. That's what me and my friends do. We're like, I can do a handstand. I'm gonna run across the room faster than you. We do drunk, but real athleticism. I think I'd be impressed. Or impressed with that. Wait, so do you guys as wrestlers know the outcome of the match you're going in?
Usually. It's predetermined, yes.
Okay.
Don't tell anybody.
Oh
but
yeah. Okay. And Santa's real.
Yeah, Santa is real.
We could lie to you and then you can look it up on YouTube 2 minutes
Yeah.
after you leave. So
Okay.
I'd rather be honest to your
Okay.
face.
Okay.
So-
Well, 'cause you said you were taking a sleeper hole, and I was like, oh, okay.
Well, nice to know that I've ruined Santa Claus.
Well, no, it's still interesting. I don't know who's gonna win, just because you guys might. But that makes a lot more sense about how much the attitudes of different people. If you know you're gonna lose, you're gonna kind of be a dick the whole time.
Just see, there you go. And sometimes that's the most interesting part is if you see guys that know they're going to lose and how they take it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's even the fun part, too.
Oh, that's cool. I would tell people right before they went on. They'd be like, damn it! I was hoping. That's why, like in comedy, when there's a lineup and you don't tell someone to the last minute, you just call them
You're up.
so they can't go outside and chain smoke and stuff. They'd be really focused. They'd be all right, this could be my night. You're gonna lose. Ah! Yeah, it's all this like pent up frustration. Why can I never win? That would be me.
Or me. Anyways, iGenerates come out again.
Yes.
Outfit change this time.
I was super excited, actually. I was like, yay, they're back.
You can't dance in the same thing twice in a row.
And I almost wonder if they flew in a living color camera person to film this segment too.
God.
Like we gotta make sure we film in this camera person from a living color.
That is very much a fly girl angle. They were like right up your crotch and then out your butt.
Tilted an angle, come back out.
This is crazy. Like they're not doing enough dancing. We have to make it move more and seem exciting. Yeah, that was totally. But yeah, no one else seemed as exciting as I was. This was definitely my favorite part. They're back. I didn't know they were coming back. I thought that was a one-time thing.
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
Many time thing.
Many times.
Yes, I know.
But speaking of women, match number 3, we have Brandywine with Sugar Daddy versus Sweet Destiny with Aussie Joe.
I just got Brandywine as like a drink.
Yeah.
Like brandy and wine. Okay. I just got that.
And actually, Sugar Daddy is, you may know the Zane, is Fred Ottman, Shockmaster, Tugboat.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I did some research. Shockmaster is a legendary character in professional wrestling for one of the biggest fuck-ups probably ever in wrestling, tripping over in his big debut, and but he's a bigger guy, wonderful individual, nice guy.
Wait,
but he's,
so where's Tugboat come from?
He was also Tugboat.
That's a very weird wrestling name.
Came out in a sailor's cap and.
He was also Typhoon.
Yeah.
He teamed with a guy called Earthquake.
They're real fat.
Cool. Yeah.
That's cool. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yes.
I feel like I might remember. Wait, is there somebody else that was an Alabama Slammer? That was another thing. That has nothing to do with weather at all. Never mind. There was a tornado. There was another weather-related one. A tornado or somebody.
Texas tornado.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not gonna even try.
They went from pet names to natural disasters in the late 80s.
I remember somebody yelling that. Nicholas Injemy yelling that on the playground. Something about it.
Texas tornado.
Yeah, and I was like, let's go.
Listen, I've yelled Texas tornado. One time I gave a shoot leg sweep on somebody and yelled Texas tornado. That's what I did when I was 8. So that's very possible. This match, I must point out Brandywine, who's been on my girlfriend's Queens of Combat all-female professional wrestling show. The last time she wrestled for us, she broke her wrist and continued to wrestle.
Oh.
So she is a tough cookie.
Did she know it was broken? Or?
Oh yeah, she knew. Like in the beginning, she knew it was broken immediately. She's like, I broke. And I was running camera that weekend, and I saw her just go right to her tag team partner and goes, I just broke my wrist, and then continued to wrestle.
Oh wow!
Like that's how tough she is as an individual.
Because she goes on to break her fucking neck here in a little bit.
Yes, I thought I should just preface that because there are a lot of very rough incidences during this match.
Yeah, it's intense. I actually think I described it as brutal.
Yeah.
Like,
far more brutal than brute force.
Yes. Everybody got some. I was like, I remember thinking like, when is it gonna be Rodman? like I'm holding the cursor over the mouse, like trying to see where I see a black person show up. I was like, all right, a couple more minutes and he's coming. But this was intense.
Oh yeah, especially that whip into the guardrail.
Yeah.
Like,
oh shit.
And then the powerbomb on the floor where like Brandy's wine ankle looked like it broke or just completely went out from under.
The acting in this didn't seem as artificial as before. This seemed like they're actually hurt.
Just killing each other.
And then the hair whips.
Yeah,
that's
a whole
cool.
bunch of that.
I kind of want to do that. That sounds like a really cool way to just mess with someone in a nightclub. Like there's a long line in the bathroom and just start whipping your hair.
Repeatedly. And not even grabbing like you're supposed to. Like I was showing this match to my girlfriend because she knows Brandy. And she's like, why are they not grabbing with 2 hands? Well, she is really trying to fuck her up.
How are they supposed to hold them?
It's supposed to be 2 hands and a little bit more at the base with the hair.
Yeah.
But they were hanging on by the ends.
Yeah.
And just whipping with 1 hand.
Yeah. Well, I did some combat acting for theater and stuff like that, so you know how to have a fake fight. And whenever someone would drag you by your hair, you're supposed to hold the hair, and then you kind of lead them. So you're in control of how bad it looks, but there was no control. And she was really do they not like each other? Is that
Brandy didn't give
possibly the backstory on Sweet Destiny, also known as Little Genie, and in some circles she got around a little bit,
Yeah.
rubbed herself the wrong way in some locker rooms.
Or the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Definitely the right way.
The wrong people.
She had a lot. She made friends very fast. Probably like the
I'm new to town.
yeah. There's probably a lot of that going on.
So maybe she's kind of just taking the trash out.
Yeah, and Brandywine is definitely the type of individual who would not put up with no nonsense.
Yes, yeah.
For sure. But also, too, we should bring up about Ozzy Joe, a guy who went 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali. But also, too, I should bring up Zane, that he was also in the movie Street Fighter.
What? Who was he?
I don't know, but that's what's in his Wikipedia page, that he was in the movie Street Fighter, so that is our connection to how did this get made.
Yeah.
So, like...
That's actually pretty impressive. Are there people that are boxers before a lot in wrestling? Or is it like a rare thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he necessarily wrestled. I think he just walked to the ring to
Yeah.
kind of get a pop of the local crowd.
Oh, okay.
And also just to come outside and take his shirt off, I guess was kind of the point. Like,
Old dad bod.
which, by the way,
Dad bod.
looks like the Australian Sandman.
Yeah.
So when he took his shirt off.
I feel that a lot more things would have made sense had we heard the Australian announcing. Because a lot of the hard cuts they do to the crowd, I feel that...
They're pissed.
I feel like that some of these people are celebrities, and like they showed those like these three dudes, like the long hair and the two bald guys, like they might be a member of a lacrosse team or
you're just seeing people and you're like, what are you?
Yeah, because like in America they'll show them like, oh, this is so and so from the
Yeah.
movie so and so. I
Yeah.
feel like in the Australian version they explain why they're doing all these hard cuts. And there might be more knowledge about Ozzy Joe about what's going on here.
Ozzy Joe.
Yeah, because he just like gets in the ring
Yeah.
for no reason, takes his shirt off, and obviously
Glorious.
puts his hand on Fred Ottman
Yeah.
so he can measure him properly for their punch.
So he doesn't knock him the fuck out.
Yep, and yeah, I also should point out in commentary there was a very awkward moment where Vince said she's going to need a lot of makeup to cover up that black eye.
Yeah.
That was a little disturbing, right? Like,
Yeah. It was a little bit like I told her twice.
I know how much makeup it takes to cover a black eye.
hey Ted, you know how these women don't listen, am I right?
So dinner was supposed to be ready at 6. Yeah, there's a little of that, but I didn't really take it as offensive because like these women don't look like they were just getting thrown around. They
Yeah.
were like giving it as good as they were
Beating the
getting
shit.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I kind of there's something in me that still wanted to do like wrestling or MMA or at least roller derby. That's like this angry girl. Like, yeah, but I was like but my face is pretty.
I like this.
And I don't like keeping it like this. Yeah, and I already knocked all my teeth out from gymnastics. But yeah, watching that, they're just like these girls. But they're like. And now that I know you guys actually, I'm just aware people get hurt. Like, this is like a last couple of months thing. Because they were telling me like the floor of the ring is like springs, and it just looks so fun. You're just bouncing off the ropes and stuff and jumping. And like I was like, those aren't real chairs. Those are plastic chairs or something. And I was like no, they're actually injured. That's why they get like hooked on pain pills and stuff like that. And I was like, why are you doing this?
Just get out.
And speaking of injuries, how about this finish, the superplex?
Holy fuck.
What's a superplex?
Where she took where she was thrown off the top rope and she flipped down. And,
that's what that's called.
And,
Okay.
and Sweet Destiny almost didn't get her all the way over, so she almost basically just
Snapped
gave
her
her,
neck.
snapped her neck.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I
it was
remember that
very
Yeah, I
touch
was
and
like,
go for a second.
I was like, that cervical injury, it might be fatal. Is she moving? She's moving. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
She doesn't feel her toes anymore, but she's moving.
Not all 9, but
Yes.
I'm assuming the 10th one is gone somewhere
Yeah,
else.
it's gone. How many toes do you think people have?
I totally saved that one,
Yeah.
right? I was like,
Improv.
superplex. Okay, so now I can use that and sound cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm about wait, would you superplex on someone or would you?
you would give that to her.
Yeah, you would
Yeah, so it's a
superplex
noun,
them.
not a verb.
Yeah.
I was like, you want to see my superplex? And they'd be like scared.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I like that. I want to do that then.
Anything more about this match before we move on?
No, let's get some more exciting stuff.
All right, I generates again, but back to original outfit. Like,
Yes.
you've got this big, huge arena. Can't they get like another
A
outfit?
third one?
A third or a fourth?
You want a different color? I like the red.
Yeah, like we just go back to the first one. Like,
Yeah, they were like, listen, just gonna change it up a little bit.
or I almost want to feel like they They just thought like, oh, I'm just gonna do this a couple times. They're like, no, we need you to go out every single time. Oh crap!
Are these the lengths of these matches or bouts or whatever? Are they average length? Because they felt like long to me. I felt like they were just like in the beginning they just looked like so much more full of energy, and as it goes on, they're just walking around in circles, slowly looking down, and I'm like, I'm coming to get you.
Just wait for me.
It'll really depends, but I feel like these went a little bit longer because they only had 5 matches.
And it's usually a lot more.
It's usually a lot more, so there's a lot more people to carry the load.
Okay.
So it's like in the sense of comedy that there's only 3 people in the car, so they got to produce a show that.
See, in the opposite, for comedy, I'd rather see less people do more time. Here, I'd rather see more fights that are short.
Exactly.
Because they just get winded.
Yeah.
They totally, towards the end, there's like...
And then it's very much the same. You know what I'm saying? You can only see like brute force do brute force stuff for so long.
Yeah.
You can only hair whip, Brandywine so many times.
37 times.
Yeah.
But speaking of more of the same, match number 4, One Man Gang versus Tatanka. One Man Gang, a.k.a. Zane Riley in about 10 years.
Give me some time.
One Man Gang is like the coolest name ever. I just really want to use that.
So you start introducing yourself in comedy.
That's so intimidating.
Yeah.
Like, One Man Gang. Like, oh, wow, you fight like a whole gang of people. That's probably the best wrestling name, I think. I think that's my favorite ever.
Again, quite the shit talker. Gets on the microphone and talks about girls, when you throw your panties in the ring, make sure it doesn't have shit stains in them. Blayr.
I really thought that was an Australian person, and I was like, that's because they talk dirty down there. So now you're saying that everyone's actually American. I'm like, oh, these are just really dirty Americans.
So what you're saying is you're not one of the ladies that would throw her panties in the ring for
No,
One Man
you know
Gang?
what? And I've seen Jim Norton. I was touring with him, and he got panties all the time because he talks about such dirty, gross stuff. People love it. And I was like, they're not used, right? Because if I was ever going to give my underwear to someone or throw them to anyone, they'd be like novelty panties. They'd be like, this is what it would look like if I could wear something. They wouldn't even be my size.
These are extra small.
Yeah. They'd be like little red lacy ones and like, oh, it's cute. But he got used panties and it was clear they were used. Like, on multiple different senses. And Jim's just like putting it in his face like da-da-da-da. And I was like, mm-mm. And the girl that gave her his underwear one show came to see us after. She was like, did you like my panties? Like she wanted to get like a Yelp review like right there.
Yeah.
I'm like, and her boyfriend was with her. So knowing that people can send used underwear, I thought he was trying to be funny, but now I'm like, maybe they actually did.
Yeah, maybe he was trying to incite that.
Also, girls don't poop, so that was the dumbest thing. And if we did, we do wipe at least. You guys are the ones. I think guys assume that we're as gross as you sometimes. I've never had a woman ever say, "Oh my God, I have like skid marks." I don't even know what that is. We know we have to wipe. We have to wipe double as much as you do. You guys just shake, or you're like, so you're not used to wiping. This is what my theory here is. You don't have as much experience wiping your ass, because we have to wipe everything.
Yeah.
So we know how to do it.
You have twice as much.
Yeah.
We do. We try twice as much wiping. This has gone so far. My mom is so proud of me right now.
This is right where we want to be.
Yeah, no. She's like, at least I know how to wipe. You know?
Yeah. If she didn't do anything, she raised a girl that could wipe.
That's a great way to end an argument, too. If you were like, if you are tired of cleaning your boyfriend's dirty underwear, and he's like, you're on the phone 24 hours. At least I know how to wipe my ass. He's like, just say it loud in Walmart. Everyone's like, oh my God, he has skid marks.
Who's that guy? Ooh.
That's way more insulting to a woman than it is. I would rather have period stained panties than skid marks. Because sometimes it happens, but you should wipe your own ass. Or at least check the panties before you throw.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to throw these.
Put these back on.
I'm going to go find a bathroom and throw these away. They're done. That's happened to several girls. I think several women have been out and realized that there's something happened and said, well, these are done.
Yep.
We're going commando tonight.
Now I just look like I'm sassy.
Trashy to sassy in one
here we
sweat.
go.
Remember that time we talked about skin marks?
This conversation far better than this show.
Obviously. And speaking of sassy, One Man Gang gets a little sassy and tells everybody to shut their pie hole, which almost causes a riot.
So many bottles are thrown.
Apparently, that's not what. I don't know if pie hole was the insult or if you were telling the Australians to anything. They're probably also more drunk by this point.
But yes, probably.
Yeah.
The later on.
Fosters and the like.
Yeah.
On the lake, yeah. Yeah, I've never actually met an Australian that couldn't drink, so they're like hardcore.
They've had more than a few at this moment in time, and almost like One Man Gang was like just inciting it a little bit, because just with a little bit of smile, like they're throwing at him, he's just laughing at him.
He likes being a bad guy.
And like I don't think security might have been all that great either. Like they probably had the same budget for the iGenerates like costume budget as it was for security.
Oh, man.
They were also security.
So like nobody was pulling anybody out for throwing shit. So they just kept throwing shit.
Well, and that's the thing. It's funny because every time I see people throw things from concession at any sporting event, I always remember Boston is the reason, the Red Sox the reason there's no longer glass bottles served in baseball fields, because we don't really know how to control ourselves. So now there's plastic bottles or plastic cups. So, and the bat night was taken away.
Stone bats.
Like, Red Sox will travel to Yankee Stadium when they're not playing the Yankees to cheer Yankees suck. Like, it could be the Subway Series with the Yankees against the Mets, and they're just like, Yankees suck. So we're really aggressive and drunk. So every time I see that, I'm just like, that's why we don't do glass bottles anymore. Because people get hurt for real. Like, no, not just and it's not like they have good arms. It's not hitting the ring. They're hitting the small children up front.
Kids in the front, yeah.
I just wanted to see wrestling.
I'm covered in beer.
Lick it up, Johnny. Lick it up.
Come here, let me lick you, kid.
But yeah, like there's an exorbitant amount of bottles just running.
Ridiculous.
It's almost like One Man Gang joined the NWO. Like I haven't seen that much since Hulk like turned his back on his fans. Like
On America.
on America.
Donna turned his back on America. That's awesome.
And speaking of like Americans, we have the Native American Tatanka.
Yeah. I kept saying that, the natives saying that. They didn't say savage, but I swear, sometimes people say stuff that's so racially insensitive, I hear more than it's there.
You make it worse.
In my head, I do make it worse.
He just said he's going to scalp him.
Yeah, did he say that? No.
Yes, he did. He definitely did, because he had the mohawk.
'Cause I was
and
gonna say.
he said he might try and scalp him.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And it's funny because there's not enough Native Americans around anymore for there to be an outcry. Like that's why we still have the Redskins and the Indians. Like nobody sees. And also they don't see it as insulting because like it's not really a race anymore. We took care of that because
It says American in the name.
Yeah, it's just really weird because like I just think that like I get offended though because I'm just like. It's a slippery slope.
Just waiting for him to fuck up. You know, like
you start with one thing, and the next thing you know, they're like, "Oh, looks like this Japanese wrestler is extremely mad." You're just like one away. Does he want some fried rice with that roll? And like it was just like scary.
Well, at one point, One Man Gang keeps screaming, "Get up, you engine!"
Yeah, yes.
A lot.
I mean. Injun is my favorite word to let you know that somebody has a Confederate flag somewhere. Like, you still call them Injuns. You know, those Injuns can't handle their fire or water. I'm like, wow, this is not even a relevant insult anymore.
You're going to keep with it. Good for you.
good.
Yeah, way to keep racism alive.
But anyways, this match ends with One Man Gang using the brass knucks on Tatanka.
Yeah, the chair and the table, I get it. You're just working with what's around you. Yeah. or like use someone's hair against them or momentum, but I didn't know you could bring weapons. I was like...
Not supposed to, but he did.
No, you're not. Oh, God.
He swindled them out of this victory, much like the Americans swindled his people out of their land.
That's crazy. That's crazy though. That really hurts. That's when I was like, this is real. This is so real.
One Man Gang brought it around for you that this is real.
Yeah, he's awesome though.
Which is not the first time on How Did This Get Booked, the match that he had at Heroes of Wrestling. Yeah. Jordan was like, man, this was like real because there's a lot of blood and it's hardcore.
Yeah.
I guess One Man Gang is your guy if you want people to believe in professional wrestling.
Yeah,
I believe. Like me.
I mean, like that's like really intense. Like that he just like I don't fight fair. I have brass knuckles, so now what's up?
We'll punch you in the face.
Nanny boo boo.
And then Mr. Fubu celebrates with One Man Gang as if they were like best friends a long time.
Yeah, no, he was awesome. He kept kind of like protecting him from the audience. I feel like he was looking up like, it's cool, man. Like, this is wrestling. This is what happens.
As if he's the ambassador of Australia.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like-
And I
Prime
was
Minister.
I was like, you do realize they don't really like darker skin complexion here either. Like Aborigines, maybe that's it.
yeah, like sure they just got like a local guy like the Aborigine Tatanka. Like
I thought that they were gonna have an Aborigine wrestler. I'm disappointed. And then they were like, a Bushman's coming out, and he would like pull out a boomerang or something.
something.
Throw it, it hits him.
This is his classic move, the dingo or something. I don't know.
Comes out with a dingo.
So many bad Australian jokes and metaphors there. Like,
Yeah, and they
he's
really
climbing him like a koala climbs a eucalyptus tree or something. Like, I was ready for it.
and they really don't get to anything Australian whatsoever.
Not at all.
Until match number 5, which is an Australian Outback match
Yes.
where anything goes.
Yes.
With Kurt Hennig taking on Dennis Rodman.
Yes.
But of course, I find it funny is like how is
So Kurt is Australian.
No.
No, okay. I was very confused because they were cheering for him so much.
She's from Minnesota.
Yeah, and he didn't have an accent when he was talking, but they were just like so pro him.
I feel like
assumed
the situation is that like WWE like they don't get a lot of professional wrestling in Australia, especially at the level of WWE and WCW.
Okay.
When they come over, it's like a big deal. That's why
they were really, really into it. They were
So
like,
that-
yeah.
like Kurt Hennig, like was a big star in WWF and in WCW. He'd probably only wrestled during those times of WCW and WWF, maybe a small handful of times in Australia, maybe if ever.
Uh-huh.
So the fact that you're getting to see somebody like that's like a big
Well, it's like
deal.
a whole day flight.
Yeah, it's like a big deal to see it like a big star that you've seen on TV
Okay.
so much.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so
So
they get cable, but they just
yeah, it's not really the level of the Beatles coming to America.
Yeah.
But for a wrestling fan, it is.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
they don't come to. I mean, like, you know, I have certain bands that don't come here a lot. They're very big into Europe, so I get that. Like,
Yeah, it'd be exactly like
yeah, it's like, oh my god, they're here. They sucked when they came, so that was disappointing. But I was like, oh, this is disappointing. Should just listen to the CD.
Yep.
Should have known. Not everyone does live well. But yeah, I totally was like, he's gotta be like, if he's not Australian. Like, I was like, you know, Mel Gibson doesn't have an accent anymore. So I was thinking maybe he lost the accent because they were so pro him. And then he gets knocked.
They don't like black people.
He gets-
and-
yeah,
or,
just-
or basketball. And
He just got hit right off the top. Like, it was like,
oh, from the get go.
Rodman did not take any time. He was like, and this is happening. Boom! In your face. And that's what I said, like, he's bleeding right away, is that... Do you usually do injuries to yourself?
Usually,
Okay.
it does happen sometimes that it gets accidental, and
Yeah.
those end up being the worst.
Yeah.
And those happen to be the ones where nobody believes you. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, this guy really hit me, and I actually got busted open for real. And I'm like, yeah, right. Like, I believe you. Like, no, that's for real. Like, I have a scar on my forehead.
Yeah.
Because of doing something very similar.
Because your
to
face bleeds so bad.
Yep.
Like, no matter what you do. I've seen, like, car accidents where it's just, like, it was one small slip, but it was just blood, like, Carrie. The prom scene.
But anyways, we're here in the main event.
Yeah.
We're excited for it. It's happening.
Yes.
I don't know who these girls were that walked down to the ring with Kurt Hennig. Like, I don't know what their story was.
more dancers.
More dancers, or girls
Fans.
that rejects or whatever.
Yeah, right there.
Reject dancers.
Sorry, guys, you can't dance. I can't dance on account of a broken pelvis. But I'd like to escort a wrestler out, a wrestler.
I'll hobble you down.
But what are our thoughts of Dennis Rodman's wrestling?
He's wearing jeans. Okay, this is like I was like everyone else looks like they're prepared. This is like the guy I used to volunteer at a rec center, and it was for people over 60 that wanted to work out, and they would all come dressed in like slacks or like tracksuits on the treadmill, and that's what he reminded me of. Like, who's coming in jeans? He's just like, whatever, man. I'm just gonna be in jeans today. Is that something that like happens? You guys usually have outfits and stuff, right?
Usually, but some guys wear jeans. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Really?
Like Diamond Dallas Page wrestled in jeans all the time.
Really? This
So-
seems odd. That makes me feel more like a bar fight.
I think that's one of those things they were going for, is like we're trying to be more realistic. Like,
Yeah.
As wrestling got more realistic, the idea of guys putting on spandex underwear kind of fell by the wayside.
Okay.
So,
well, I'll tell you what. My biggest regret of this entire match and the entire thing I watched is that nothing got ripped out of Dennis Rodman's face. That was supposed to happen. He was gonna give, like, I don't care if it was fake or it was real. He's supposed to grab her like, punk. Where, you know, like, he goes, oh, he looks like a bull with that ring through his nose. He's supposed to be like, you know, finish this championship, and then blood and I was just sitting there the whole time. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and it never did. So it was disappointing.
because anything goes. Anything goes, except maybe roughing up the referee.
Oh man.
Which the ref took a headbutt, which was
awesome.
just kind of pointless. Like, I thought that was like, oh, this is, you know, he's just knocking the referee out, they'll bring
Yeah.
another ref. No, the ref was just right back up.
Yeah.
Are refs sometimes also wrestlers? Or are they just...
Sometimes there are refs, you know.
Okay, I
wrestlers in
assumed he
training,
was.
you
I
know.
assumed he was because he was just a ref. That's really dickish. That's like tackling a ref in football.
But see, I thought about it more and I did a little bit more research. I think the reason why they did this headbutt spot with the ref was because during Dennis Rodman's NBA days, he headbutted a ref.
Oh.
So I think this was kind of a nod to
Oh,
that.
He really headbutt around.
Yeah, yes, during a basketball game.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was during his run with the Bulls, if I'm not mistaken.
His run with the Bulls.
But then, like, they throw the referee, and then he disqualifies them.
Yeah.
Which, this is supposed to be a knockdown, drag out, no disqualification.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna disqualify.
Yeah, it's over. But it's not. But it's like it's over.
But like every match on the card has been like cheating left and right,
Brass
hardcore
knuckles.
stuff, nothing. But like, oh no, you throw a referee now, now you're disqualified.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember watching this. I'm like, this isn't half bad. You know, Dennis Rodman, he's throwing some good punches.
Yeah.
This looks like a real
And
fight.
again, I keep remembering he's 6'7". I don't know how big everyone is, but I'm just thinking like that's not easy to be agile.
Yeah, like he's pretty. Like he's been very talented. The times that he's done wrestling,
I can't believe. I swear, I thought this was his first time.
So he's done a couple of them, and then he also did like Hulk Hogan's Celebrity Championship Wrestling years later, and
That's
he won
so
that.
He won it. Oh.
Yeah, he's got ability and stuff like that, but like I was expecting like maybe he'll do a move, but nope, they just did this and that was it. Like I don't know if they were expecting to have some sort of rematch, but like I was like, oh, this is all we
Yeah,
get.
I definitely was like, it's over? What's going on? It's not over. And then they were showing you like replay. I was like, oh, they brought him back, but it's just the replay. And I was like, I was looking at the end. I was like, "There's only 1 minute left. What are they gonna do? How are they gonna fix this? It's not over." Something. Yeah, there was the two things I expected them to really finish it. I was like, it's a joke. You know, like they go like the band says we're leaving.
Yeah, encore part.
Yeah, I was like, is there an encore fight?
Well, that's what the thing was. Like after it was all over, like the fans were just sitting there, like, "Is that it?" Like, yeah, surely you're gonna do something more than just that, because like that wasn't anything
That
at
was
all.
it. No, it was like very. What do you call it? De-escalated from all the stuff that had built up to it. It was
like it was building to this really big crescendo that never happened.
Never happened. Yeah.
Never happened.
Just Rodman rolling around on a table like with good acting skills.
Yeah.
Though. Good acting.
Getting the shit beat out of him for a long time, really.
Yeah, and the thing is like maybe like
the trash can was brutal. Like because I was like, oh, he's not gonna hit him in the head, but he got him pretty hard in the shoulder back area. He was like, ugh. It was like a reverb bounce there. I like the trash can. I think that would be my finishing move.
Yeah, I almost think if there was a finish to this match, I don't think this pay-per-view is quite as bad in the lineage of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's just because this main event, like there was just nothing to the finish.
Anticlimactic.
It was actually more exciting when they're talking trash in the beginning.
Yeah.
Before the fight, like the press conference, I think. Yeah.
And then
I did like that Rodman got the first shot, though. That was kind of cool. Oh, yeah. He was just like, we're starting now!
fucking go. Yeah.
Time to go.
But, of course, Ozzy Joe and Brute Force come out for a pull apart. And I must point out Brute Force's outfit. That was zebra.
You mean when he's dressed like a zebra?
Yes. Like, he had more outfit changes than iGenerettes. Like,
Yes, he did.
I felt that was rather impressive. And, of course, speaking of the iGenerettes, I want to know, like, which of the wrestlers on the card was probably said something inappropriate to one of them in the backstage. Like,
it was definitely one-man gang.
Yeah. He's like,
I was talking about your panties, girl.
He's like, how about a one-man gangbang? Oh, yes, there we go. Just him and all the generates. So I mean, they looked like they just gotten off the second shift at Hooters.
Yeah.
And they were doing this before they went into the Thirsty Beavers.
A little bit of extra money.
Yeah. It's a little on the side.
Yeah.
Because, none of them were really 10s.
Oh no, and I'm sure the promoter was like hyping up, oh we got these really hot girls, and probably made some of the wrestlers like take pictures with some of them in a weird way too.
You mentioned that they're like supposed to be like the Nitro girls. Are they more attractive?
Oh, yes.
Are they good at dancing and stuff?
Yeah, I would say better than these girls.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like the Fly Girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do they
Like if there's the Fly Girls, the Nitro Girls are probably a couple steps down, and then these girls are like 10 steps down. So
I do love watching small groups of organized girls dance. It entertains me. Like I like the Checkmates here in Charlotte. They dance on ice. That's always fun because I was like, "Well, do you have special shoes?" No, they're just sneakers. So occasionally someone just slips out, and I just watch it for like who's going down. Oh, Melissa. All right, she got back up. That's good.
She's in total recovery.
Yes.
Anyways, as it closes out, there's a great shot of Kurt Hennig standing in the entranceway, and over his shoulder there's a sign that says, Hennig is a woman. Hennig misspelled, mind you, as well.
Because he wasn't talking about him. He was talking about somebody else.
There's another Hennig.
I feel like that's pretty interesting to point out. Also, to Hennig's interview at the end, they're just like sticking a gauze on there. Like, obviously not a medical professional.
Yeah, no.
Or maybe the most prestigious medical professional in Australia.
Yeah, he could.
So I don't know.
I went to Melbourne University.
Just here's a gauze, here's some tape. Oh, you're good to go.
Get outta here.
Oh, did I tape some of your hair in that? Never mind. All right.
Here's some kangaroo spit. All right, that'll keep the flies away.
Kangaroo spit.
Yeah, I don't know, like in
Love
something. Or in their pouch.
Yep.
There's gotta be gunk in the pouch, right?
Some kangaroo salve.
I just grossed myself.
Kangaroo pouch gunk.
I had way too much of a visual on someone actually sticking their hand in a kangaroo pouch.
Excuse me, kangaroo mate. Alrighty. A little bit on your forehead, and go.
But anyways, pay-per-view's over with, the watch credits, whatever. I did notice that one of the executive producers, they listed them in the beginning of the credits. At the end of the credits, one of those guys name popped up again, but it was in loving memory too.
Oh.
So one of the promoters or executive producers of the show passed away.
In the 6 months that this took to...
Probably a clear indication why we didn't see like another pay-per-view from iGeneration.
Oh, wow.
But one of the other guys that worked with the promotion was, I believe his name is Andrew McManus, also ran WWA pay-per-views that happened in Australia. He was a concert promoter, so he's probably part of the reason why there was 10,000 people there. He knew how to promote, just didn't know anything about wrestling. So, because he ran his own promotion and very much like put somebody else in charge for a while.
Yeah.
And those shows have been called lackluster, very similar to this.
Oh, wow, yeah. That was not the way it should have ended.
No. So, thoughts overall with the pay-per-view? Anything that you glazed over? Anything we want to bring up right now?
I want to see more Dennis Rodman wrestling, especially since this was so anticlimactic. So I want to see the one, I'm going to look it up, where he wrestles Hulk for Hulk Hogan Celebrity thing where he wins.
Oh, the Celebrity Championship Wrestling. I watched that from the beginning, and he was pretty good from the beginning, and he was on-set favorite. But I got to tell you what, he wrestled Todd Bridges from Different Strokes.
No!
And Todd Bridges was really good.
Really?
Yes.
You know why? Because Todd Bridges did crack.
Yeah.
And
Todd Bridges can do anything.
He's not afraid of what happens to his body.
No,
Like,
crackheads are the scrappiest spiders you'll ever find. You don't want to get like a spider monkey. They'll come right at you. He probably flew down. What is it? Suplex.
yeah, but he had to contend with people like Danny Butterducci, Butterbean,
Dude.
Tiffany.
Tiffany wasn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Was Dustin Diamond on it too?
Yes.
Dustin
Screeching-
Diamond and Danny Butterducci both did celebrity boxing too.
yeah.
Yes.
That's so weird and so sad. See, now we can just put you on like a show to be a celebrity guest. Then before you had to fight for your dinner, literally. Oh man, Dennis Rodman. Wait, so how old was he in this in 2000? Like, he's like 55 now.
So the
About 15 years ago, about 40.
So everyone that was doing this was pretty middle-aged to old. That's
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like and Dennis Rodman had just played the season prior to
he's
this.
playing basketball still.
No, he was done at this time.
Okay,
Like he had like a few 12 games with the Dallas Mavs in 1999.
Yeah.
And then he was done. He was focusing on his acting career and all that stuff. But actually, he came back and started playing for a small minor league basketball league called the ABA.
ABA.
Not anything to do with not anything to do with the old ABA, but like it's very much similar to the Continental Basketball League.
Yes.
And he actually played that until like I think like 2008.
Wow.
So like he just kind of played basketball because he loved it.
Yeah, that's great. I can't do that. I have to tape up when I'm like just getting off stage. I'm like, oh, all right.
Put some ice packs on my feet.
I mean, I swet. I wear black on stage for a reason. I sweat. I'm just standing there telling dick jokes, but 30 minutes is a long time.
A whole lot of dick.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of dick.
But we talked about everything about this. So we
I believe we have. I think we've talked more about it than there was to talk about.
Of course, tons of nut shots. I felt like Bob Saget should have been doing commentary
Oh
at
my
some
God.
point in time.
It would have been just the commentators were the best,
Yeah.
worst one-liners ever. The one was like, "Oh, he's got more pins in him than my grandmother's pin cushion." I was like, you do realize you use the insult. The beginning, you shouldn't have the same word as the end.
Setup can't be the punchline.
Yeah, exactly. They're. I think I want to use their one-liners again. I'm
should.
gonna go back and listen to them. This is a mess. Oh, a mockery. I'm a classy man. I have class.
Watch your mouth, kid. You know what I'm saying?
I'm full of. I got class leaking out my asshole over here. It's just like- that's so funny that he's born again Christian. I like that.
Yeah, like I said, like I thought, like after the first iGenerates thing, I think it got very uncomfortable there.
I want to see Dennis Rodman put the wedding dress and the wig on,
Yeah.
and go fight someone else in drag.
One of the girls.
Yeah.
Him and Brandywine just getting fucked up.
I'd like to see that.
That would be
I think Brandy Wine would have preferred to wrestle Dennis Rodman.
Far safer.
Far safer.
That was great.
Anyways, towards the end, I always give our guests an opportunity to plug whatever or get your social medias out there. Blayr,
Sure.
this will come out next week, so a week from today, basically. So if there's anything you want to let people know, that's the timeline of it.
Yeah. The easiest way to get in touch with me is just to go to my website. So that's BLAYRNIAS.com. That has my Twitter, my Instagram. BLAYR. I am the only Blayr with a Y now. You Google me, and I'm the first one.
What?
Yeah, because for a while I was like number 5, and I was really ticked off about that because I think it's a rare name.
Yeah.
So just Google my name. You can find stuff. Really, really, really funny on Twitter. I'm gonna go ahead and be humble. I've won a Twitter award.
No
and
big
they
whoop,
just follow me.
but-
Kind of a big deal. I have lots of leather-bound books. I tweet all day. I have no life. No loved ones, no dogs, just Twitters. So please follow me on Twitter at Gummy Blayr, and that's losing my voice now, so that's awesome. It's probably time to shut up.
All right. Zane, what about yourself?
You can see me tomorrow night, as of this
Release.
tomorrow night, Chester, South Carolina for APW. Saturday in Thomasville, North Carolina for NRLL, and Sunday at PWX in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, which is where I will be at. It might be my last wrestling match ever, or my
Quite
best
possible.
wrestling match ever. So
One of two.
I may not have anything more to plug past that.
no.
Just as always, just pay attention to my career. I might have a lot of time to tweet stuff, so I might give you a run for your money on the funniest Twitter because I might have a lot of free time on my
Are you gonna
hands.
be in traction or like the cast is gonna?
A lot of chair shots.
Oh
A lot of chair
man.
and dick shots.
Yes,
Oh,
either
man.
table 2 or some other surprises as well. So PWX Pro for more information about that show. But more information about this show, make sure you, if there's any corrections or mistakes, make sure you tweet me at ManScoutManning or email me at jake@sslshow.com. Make sure you check out the How Did This Get Booked website. We have t-shirts available right now. I think I set up the store properly. If I haven't, if you've been ordering t-shirts right now and I haven't sent it to you, I've made a mistake in setting it up. So please tweet me, email me, and I'll fix it immediately. To get onto the show, you can subscribe on iTunes, on Google Play apparently now. Also, too, it's available on YouTube at youtube.com/ManScoutManning. And it's also on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/ManScoutManning. Anyways, folks, this has been another edition of How Did This Get Booked?
Woo!